The Hulk is incredible. This we know, but throughout the multiverse there are versions of the Hulk that differ in some small and big ways. Today on Top 10 Nerd, I'm Adam, and I'm going to tell you about 10 of my favorite alternate versions of the Hulk. Starting off at number 10 today is Infernal Hulk. On Earth 11638, Bruce Banner was officially completely done with dealing with the unpredictability and rage of the Hulk. So, when Spider-Man introduced Bruce to Stephen Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, Banner became his apprentice, and after lots of training in the mystic arts, learned how to separate himself from the Hulk entity. He did this by sending it to hell and making it a demon, and this was a great solution. Until the 616 Hulk, along with Deadpool and Spider-Man from 616, came to Earth 11638. The Infernal Hulk managed to enter back into the realm of Earth, swapping places with 616 Banner's Hulk persona. Infernal Hulk went after the new Sorcerer Supreme, Bruce Banner, who was saved by both Deadpool and Spider-Man. So, how did they defeat this demon Hulk? Well, Sorcerer Bruce reversed the banishing spell that sent Hulk to hell, and just before Infernal Hulk could return to his original Bruce Banner body, Bruce had his neck crickle-cracked, which brought him to the pearly gates. But his spirit lived on in the astral plane, so it's all good still. Number 9, Hulk 2099. This version of the Hulk, appearing in the awesome possible future of 2099, where Spider-Man 2099 makes his home, is a guy named John Eisenhart. He was a corporate lawyer for big movie studios who went to manipulate a group called the Knights of Banner, who were a cult-like group of warriors who followed the ideologies of Bruce Banner, which sounds very cool, and it is. John was going to gain the rights for their name in order to make a movie about them, all while giving them nothing in return. He turns them into this corporation called Sweet Dreams, thinking they'll be brought in peacefully, but it doesn't go that way at all. The only Knight of Banner who survives, Kid, goes to a gamma machine, but John saves the kid, pushing him out of the way and being blasted with gamma radiation. John can now turn into the Hulk whenever he wants. He has a super strong prehensile tongue, which is terrifying, and he is much more beast-like with massive claws. He's just as powerful as regular Hulk, but unfortunately, his comics were not popular enough to last more than 12 issues. Maybe he'll get a resurgence. I doubt it though. Number 8, the Ultimate Hulk. Yes, the Ultimate Universe's version of the Hulk is similar to the regular Hulk, but his personality? No, it's pretty whack. Bruce Banner, no matter where you find him, is an emotionally scarred dude. It's a part of why he is the way that he is, but the Ultimate Bruce Banner? He's selfish, self-absorbed, and kinda straight just creepy. He was so desperate to be noticed and recognized that he willingly injected himself with an experimental version of a new super soldier formula, turning him into a monstrous version of the Hulk. Yes, there was no gamma bomb here, not at first. This Hulk had little to no regard for human life and collateral damage. He even enjoyed to feast on others from time to time. He was completely nuts is what I'm telling you. Ultimate Hulk would join up with Maker, Quicksilver, Kang, and a mind-controlled Human Torch to make up the team known as the Dark Ultimates. Yeah, it's safe to say the Hulk here was a villain more than anything else, but he would eventually align himself to be a bit better, but not by much. Number 7, the Breaker of Worlds. The Breaker of Worlds Hulk first appeared in a kind of side story within the Immortal Hulk story. It was more like a worst case scenario kind of thing. In an alternate timeline, the Immortal Hulk becomes possessed by the One Below All, who went rampaging until the end of time, and the end of this iteration of the multiverse. He has destroyed everything. Literally everything. He has defeated Franklin Richards, Galactus, all the cosmic entities, and he's shattered planets and crushed stars with his bare hands. The story itself follows an alien that had explored out trying to find out if anything was left in the universe, and there wasn't. This alien is living in the 9th cosmos, meaning the 9th version of the multiverse after the Immortal Hulk / the One Below All destroyed the last version. This new 9th multiverse is in tatters. The One Below All Hulk has consumed the souls of every being he has destroyed, bolstering up his own power enough so that he is a planet-sized Hulk, and he just flies around like a living curse, ending all things in existence until there is nothing left ever. Luckily though, the alien sent a warning far into the past to the present time, and the Breaker of Worlds won't actually happen, but it is what happens when the one below all wins, and it's not good. Number 6, Space Punisher Hulk. This version of the Hulk, appearing in the really awesome Space Punisher story, at least I think it's awesome, other people don't agree, is a 4-armed, 30-foot tall, murderous monstrosity. He completely took out the Fantastic Four. He bit Sabretooth in half, took off Deadpool's head, and threw him out into space, and he completely decimated a group of 6 Watchers, as in the race that Uatu the Watcher is a part of. If you don't know, the Watchers are sort of on par in power to Galactus, so yes, this is pretty impressive. Another fun fact about this future space version of the Hulk is that the Hulk is more like an exoskeleton with Bruce Banner contained within the Hulk's chest. But they are still separate entities, allowing the Space Punisher to end the life of Bruce Banner, which in turn allows the Hulk to just jump off into space free and leaving everyone alone. It's intense, it's really weird, it's extremely brutal as you'd expect from a Punisher story, and we kinda love it. Number 5, Weapon H. What do you get when you combine Wolverine and the Hulk? No, it's not a joke, you get an absolute monster of a character. In Totally Awesome Hulk number 21, we're introduced to Clayton Cortez, a former Marine who was subjected to Weapon X's Batch H division, which primarily tried to create Hulk-Wolverine hybrid cyborgs. And you're right, that does sound absolutely awesome. Clayton himself, though, became H-Alpha. He has an adamantium skeleton, a healing factor, and claws just like Wolverine. But add on to that the ability to change from human form to his Hulk-like form that gives him near limitless super strength and other Hulk abilities, and that is one scary powerful guy. He is an absolute beast, and his creator says he can defeat nearly everyone on the planet, which I honestly kinda believe. Now, let's just hope he gets some actual viewership and enough popularity to stand as his own character. Number 4, the Maestro. Okay, imagine a version of the Hulk with twice his strength who retains the intelligence of Bruce Banner. Now take that Hulk and make him a ruthless, tyrannical ruler, and you get Maestro. Maestro is a possible future version of the Hulk who took out literally all the other heroes and villains and names himself Emperor over the whole world. Our Hulk first comes into contact with Maestro when Rick Jones's daughter takes him to the future to fight his evil future self. But this Maestro guy, he ain't playing around, okay? In their very first fight, Maestro won by simply snap crackle popping the Hulk's neck. That's it. Done. Over. And then he waited for the Hulk to heal, taunting him and villain monologuing at him the whole time about all the terrible things that they go through as the Hulk to create Maestro. The only way our Hulk could win was to bring Maestro back in time to when they gained their abilities, the Gamma Bomb, which destroyed Maestro on the atomic scale. The sheer idea of Maestro haunted Bruce and Hulk's thoughts for the rest of time, but of course, that wasn't really the end of Maestro, and he's been kind of floating around ever since. Number 3, Monk. Of all the alternate Hulks we've got here, none are quite like Monk. Monk comes from a little alternate universe story called 5 Ronin, which sees feudal Japanese versions of Wolverine, Punisher, Psylocke, Deadpool, and of course, the Hulk. What's interesting here is that none of these characters seem to have the superpowers that make them superheroes in the regular 616 universe, or if they do, their powers are extremely subtle and low-key, and an excellent example of that is the Hulk. From reading Hulk's issue of the 5-issue story, we can gather that Monk used to be a ferocious samurai back in his day. Monk is a massive man, and he wielded a massive sword, but in his warrior rages, he would do some pretty unspeakable things, and because of the last one to happen to him, he swore himself off of the warrior life and instead decided to set in his roots at the top of a mountain in a sort of sanctuary, just trying to find inner peace. Even when the nearby villagers came to the former samurai for help against some bandits, he refused until he was visited by a Ronin with a mouth, Deadpool, who convinced him to use his rage one last time. Number 2, Amadeus Cho. Now, unlike pretty much every other Hulk here, Amadeus Cho is not from an alternate universe to the main 616 Incredible Bruce Banner Hulk. By 15, Amadeus Cho was the 7th smartest person on the planet, with a mind that functioned like a hypercomputer, but that also put a target on his back and led him to become friends with another genius, Bruce Banner. Cho first popped up on the scene back in 2005, but it wasn't until 10 years later, in 2015, when the Hulk got stuck with a dangerous amount of a new type of radiation reason that Amadeus took on a different form. Using special nanites, Amadeus absorbed the Hulk's powers, becoming a gamma-powered monster and the new totally awesome Hulk. But unlike Bruce, Amadeus found himself having much more control over his Hulk persona and prided himself on being a better and smarter Hulk. Unfortunately, over time that wouldn't last, especially when he exiled himself to find control and ended up on Sakaar. When he finally came back to Earth and declared war on all his enemies, he had to be stopped by his allies, and in doing so, they injected him with nanites that countered the ones he himself had placed in himself, and that's very confusing, I know. Amadeus didn't lose his Hulk powers, instead he retained just a portion of the power and now goes by the superhero name Brawn. And finally, in at number 1, it's Aboriginal Hulk. You ever heard of the House of M, when Wanda Maximoff changed reality to make the mutant Magneto the ruler of the world with his family and all that jazz? Well, in this world, when Bruce Banner transformed into the Hulk after the Gamma explosion, it is believed by Mr. Ross that he became a spy of Magneto, and he becomes hunted down like normal. But not like normal, he travels all the way to Australia, and he settles in with a group of Aborigine where he becomes a part of their tribe and finds an inner peace with Banner and the other guy, meaning the Hulk. But of course, the conflict between the mutants and the last remaining resisting humans finds its way to the outback and onto the territory of this Aborigine tribe. With kind of a control over the Hulk persona, Hulk and Banner help the humans halt their persecution by their mutant overlords, eventually helping AIM to rule Australia. I didn't think that would ever happen. There's this really cool moment where Hulk is using a whale to cover a submarine. I know that sounds confusing, but if you just look at it, I promise it's amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm your host, Adam Andrews. You're watching Top 10 Nerd, and I will catch you all on the flippy flop. Peace out, my nerds.